Picture this. You're playing, say, a bullet hell or an FPS, think Binding of Isaac or Wolfenstein, and you're having a great time blasting away at enemy after enemy, dodging and maneuvering through projectiles and melee attacks. Your heart's pumping, adrenaline rushing, you're mashing every key on your stupid Razer keyboard. And then it all stops. No more bullets, no more enemies screeching, no more taking damage or dishing it out. Just the game's soundtrack and you. Maybe you hit a dead end and you have to backtrack. Maybe you simply cleared the room you were in and need to move to the next one. Maybe there's a puzzle or a driving section up ahead. Whatever it is, it sent all that was happening before screeching to a halt. These types of moments in games can make or break the entire experience for me, and they can be the deciding factor in whether or not I keep playing the game. For example, in Wolfenstein, which I can't get any footage of as the game crashes every time I die for some reason, there's an underwater mission in which you drive a sort of submarine boat thing through a series of underwater passages and tunnels. That one section kept me from completing the game for so long. I started playing Wolfenstein expecting fun and exciting combat and gunplay, not this. Obviously, I get that games like these need story building sections, but it seemed like this was just filler. If I remember correctly, the only dialogue was to help you solve some of the puzzles. There was no world building at all. I'd say they put it in to make the game longer, but that doesn't make any sense. I would rather play a good game than a long one. Also, there's the problem of my game crashing all the time, but I don't think that's the dev's fault. Anyway, moving back onto the topic, I want to talk about a good example of using calm, silence, and lack of epic bloody violence to expand on the story and gameplay. We're taking a look back at the bloodshed and death you've caused as an integral part of the game's experience. We're going and getting a freaking snack from the gas station has emotional impact. Can you guess what game I'm talking about yet? It's Hotline Miami. This game incorporates the idea of no enemies left quiet time better than any game I've ever played. Even when I'm doing nothing but walking back to my sick DeLorean, I still feel immersed, and it still maintains that in-the-zone feeling you have during an intense action sequence. Some of you might get mad at me for this, and I get it, but I've never had the time or the money to buy the second game and play it all the way through. Obviously, I've seen YouTube videos of it, and I know the soundtrack is as banging as the first one, but I can't speak of its gameplay. I don't know if it pulls off those silent, peaceful moments as well as the first one, so I won't be touching on it. However, if anyone wants to say anything about Hotline Miami 2's use of calm, the comment section is always open. Doom is a great game. I played a lot of Doom 2016 across different consoles, as well as on PC, although it gets kind of boring after a while. There's just nothing better than blasting hordes of demons with the game's awesome soundtrack in the background. It's mindless fun, and if you say you actually pay attention to the story, A, what the hell is wrong with you? B, you're lying, and C, I think you should get locked up. I'm serious. Check yourself into a mental asylum. But anyway, the reason I'm bringing up Doom is because it's a rare example of a game that hardly ever gives you room to breathe. It's just wave after wave of demons, mission after mission of sprinting around, cracking skulls, and performing glory kills. There's almost never a break in the action, except for those stupid keycard parts. I mean, who likes those? Imagine talking to someone about Doom and they tell you, yeah, I love the keycard parts. I mean, what the hell? But anyway, back to the point. Games definitely don't need to give you the chance to take a breather. Not at all. Doom is almost an anti-relaxing game. You're constantly on your feet, constantly moving and worrying about the next enemy and where they are. It's great, and I mean this without sarcasm, the only way to escape with a rage-fueled bloodshed is to quit the game entirely. The med packs are placed right in enemy view, and even with them, you're constantly performing glory kills to get your health back up, and looking for ammo for your guns that always seem to have run out. This only ends when you die. The second part of this video is definitely going to be shorter than the first one because I don't have as much to say about dying in video games. I just wanted to bring it up because I think it ties into the last topic, and I won't have enough to say to put this in a separate video. As are moments where you don't have to shoot anything, deaths in video games can make or break a game for me, and I think it largely depends on the game. For this chapter, I'm going to bring up Hotline Miami again, partly because I really like the game, and partly because it fits with the theme I'm going for here. Hotline Miami is one of the best games I've ever played. However, dying in that game, especially when you get pretty far on a floor, is extremely aggravating, and it actually made me take week or two long breaks from the game, just due to how much it sets you back and makes you never want to play again. It sucked. But despite this, I still played through and finished it, because games where death is so frustrating do have a silver lining. When I finished a level after dying over and over again, it felt like I had just won the world. I felt like a god. It's a great feeling to hear that music that plays at the end of the level, reveling in the victory that you just experienced. As the points count up and you get your grade, even if you got a D, it's still rewarding to have finished the level. Going back to my other example, which also just happens to be radically different in the failure department as well, Doom. In Doom, dying doesn't feel like such a loss. The thing about Hotline Miami is that dying to the same enemy in the same spot over and over is incredibly aggravating. But since it is infinitely less likely for that to happen in Doom, it just doesn't matter as much. Doom is also super lenient with the checkpoints, which makes it so you don't lose very much progress upon death. Doom is an FPS, while Hotline Miami is top-down, which I think also contributes to the anger you feel when dying. In Hotline Miami, everything feels rigid. It seems like there's one set way to finish a level, and it's the player's job to figure out which way that is. In Doom, you can approach groups of enemies virtually any way you want, picking them off from a distance or rushing in and getting the glory kills. Whichever way you look at it, there are a lot of different ways to die. And that applies to every game, whether you're a mobile gamer or a die-hard Xbox fan. Failure is both inevitable and expected. It's just that different games make you feel different ways when it happens. Most games do a very good job of managing action and calm, but it's radically different with each one. Whether they're intended to make you feel something or just to break in the action, breaks in gameplay can, as I've hopefully shown, make a huge difference to the overall experience. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll hopefully see you next time.